we lay our crown and worship you. Oh, glorious God, praise your name. We lay our crown and worship. Do you understand diatonic passing chords? The answer is no, then wait, cause this video is for you. Can you like this video and subscribe to this channel? I've transposed the keyboard to +4, that's A. Just take note. So now we have two different ways you have diatonic passing chords. Let me break things down a little. A chord is said to be a diatonic when it's built from a note of a key. For instance, when we are on key F, this is our F major scale. You know that F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, and F itself. So whenever we form a chord that has its note to be part of the F major scale, that chord is said to be a diatonic chord. So let me give you an example. If I have D, F, and A, that's La, Do, Mi, this is a La chord. You can see that all these notes that forms the La chord can be found in the F major scale. So in this case, we can conclude that this D minor chord is a diatonic chord. The same example here, we have Re, Fa, La, this is a G minor chord. You can see that Re, Fa, La, all these notes can be found in the F major scale. So this chord is also said to be a diatonic chord. But for instance, a chord like this, you know, we have C, E flat, and F sharp. You can see that not all notes of this chord can be found in the F major scale. It's only this C note that can be found in the F major scale. The rest, E flat and F sharp, are out of the F major scale. So this chord is not a diatonic chord. Alright? So that's all about diatonic chords. A chord is said to be a passing chord when it connects or passes between notes of two diatonic chords. So for instance, if you have chord A and chord B, this is our first chord, Do, Mi. So this is a Do chord, and our second chord is a La chord, La, Do, Mi, alright? Any chord that can link Do and La, that chord is said to be a passing chord. You know, we have several forms of passing chord. We have diatonic passing chord, dominant passing chords. We have diminished passing chords, 2-5-1, tritone substitution, a whole lot, alright? But in today's case, we're going to be looking at diatonic passing chords specifically, okay? So we are going to look out for a diatonic passing chord that can link Do and La, alright? So how do we do that? We have two different chords here, Do to La. You know, we are coming from this Do chord to La. Then in this case, La becomes our target chord. So to get a diatonic passing chord on it, just, you know, this is a D chord, so just take the note. This is a D note, alright? Then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 semitones below from the root note of that chord. So you know this, a D chord, so the root note is the D note itself. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 semitones below from that root note. So it gets us to this A note. Now we're going to form a diatonic chord on this A note, alright, and use it as a passing chord to link Do to La. So on this A note, if you are forming a diatonic passing chord, we have several strings here. We have A, C, and E, that's Mi. So T, this is a Mi chord. Or we also have Mi, La, Do, this is a La chord. We can't use the La chord because we are coming from Do to La. We can't use the same La to link Do and La. So the best option would be mi so. See, that's the mi chord. So from do to la, we can use a mi chord as a diatonic passing chord to link do to la. It's very simple. Now let's invert this mi chord and get something like T, mi, so, something like this. So do, see that? Do, mi, la. There is a very smooth diatonic passing chord transition. Very simple. Let me give you another example. For instance, if you have a movement like fa to so, if you are traveling from fa to so, how can we come out with a passing chord, diatonic passing chord to link fa to so? So from fa to so becomes our target. So this is a C major chord. Then we have C to be our root note. So to get the passing chord, you need to count 5 semitones below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get on this G note. Now we need to form a diatonic passing chord on this G note. So we can form something like Re, Fa, La. This is a G minor chord or a Re chord. Or better still, we can form Re, Fa, Ti. This is also a diatonic chord. This is a T chord or E diminished chord. So we can use either Re chord or a T chord as a passing chord to link Fa to so. Alright, so let's use these two different chords and see which one works better for here. So Fa, Re, so, you see that? Fa, Re, so. There's one transition. Let's try and check out for the T chord. So Fa, T, so. You see that? So the choice is yours. It depends on you what kind of voicing that you want. You can choose to use the T chord or the Re chord to link Fa to so. Anyway, anyhow, it sounds good for you. You can use that. So do to la, we know we can use mi. Fa to so, we've seen that you can use Re. Then let's assume do to fa. Then fa becomes our target chord. So to form a diatonic passing chord on it, just take the B flat note, because that's the root note of the B flat major chord. Count 5 semitones below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It gets us to this F note. Alright, so if you have to form a diatonic passing chord on it, we can form something like, we can form a D minor chord, that's a La chord to link do to fa. You see that? You can form this a diatonic chord, a La chord. I think that's all for now. So do, you see that? So now we're going to be using this La chord to link do to fa. So do, la, fa. You see that? Now let's use this song as a reference. Oh, be lifted above the gods, we lay our crowns and worship you. The progression is very simple. Do, la, so, do, fa, la, so, do. You see that? Do, then to la, to so, back to do again, then to fa, then to la, then so, back to your one chord. So we have a chord progression like this, you know, we have a lot of space in this progression. So for instance, oh, be lifted above other gods. So from La to So, we can fix a passing chord in between La and So. You see that? So La to So, So becomes our target. So to get a diatonic passing chord, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To get us to this G note, you form a diatonic passing chord on this G note, something like 1, 2. This is a Re chord. See that? You can form a Re chord and use it as a diatonic passing chord to link La and So. Oh, be lifted above Aga. So from La, instead from to get to So straight like that, I'll pass to Re chord before getting to my So chord. Oh, be lifted. See that? So I'll be able to use diatonic chord as a passing chord here. Now the next movement, we lay our crowns and worship you. So you know that this movement, Do to Fa, is a whole lot. We can add a diatonic passing chord. So Do to Fa, Fa becomes our target chord. So this is our root note, B flat. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have F note. We're going to form a diatonic chord on this F note. We can choose to form something like a D minor chord. You see that? You can use a D minor chord. Yeah, I think that's cool. So from Do to Fa, we're going to be using a D minor chord as a passing chord to Fa. You see that? Oh, be lifted. You see that? We lay our crown. We lay our crown and worship you. And worship you. We lay our crown and worship you. So La, So, Do. The whole thing will be Do to La, Re to So, Do, La, Fa.